Do you know yourself?
Well, I think I know myself, but it did take me a long time to get there.
And what about when you didn't know yourself? Did it cause you a lot of anxiety?
Yes, it did.
Me too.
Yeah, it used to give me a lot of anxiety.
That's what we're going to be talking about in this week's episode of
Get Real with the English
Sisters.
Sisters.
Join us talking about 3 ways to know yourself better for easy anxiety relief.
Yeah,
That's nice.
Because it's
easy and free, isn't
it's
it?
easy, yeah. It's free, and it's just something that if you do know yourself better, you can find solutions that work with you instead of working against you.
I know, because I think it took me such a long time to know myself, because I think when you're little, you don't really know yourself that much.
Well, you kind of instinctively know what you want and what you don't want, and what you like and what you don't like. But then as you grow up, you have to conform more, don't you? You
I
feel
think that's what it is. You have to conform. Well, you feel as if you have to conform.
you feel as if so like you might not like going out every night. But then if
Yeah, I remember when I didn't like going to discos.
yeah.
And that your friends, our friends kind of wanted to go, and then you felt as if you had to go.
You had to go, and then you were thinking, well, am I weird that I don't really like these places?
Yeah.
And then you start to question. You question yourself.
You question yourself and you think, am I like not normal, don't you?
Well, yeah, I think you do. And if you, then what happens is that you normally, you may say, if you're really courageous, you say, no, I don't like that. And then, it's tough luck. And you
then
find yourself a group
what
of...
do you do? You just tell your friends, I'm not doing that.
I don't like it.
Yeah, I'm
I
not
don't
doing
like
it.
going to those places. I don't enjoy it there. And then, then obviously what usually happens is you find other little groups of friends, don't you?
Well, they're like the more...
The bookworms or whatever they're called, the ones that like
The
hanging
nerdy
out,
types.
just, sitting at home or whatever. Yeah, so... But if you do like it, then, good for you. Then I suppose. The thing is, I think you have to experience it at least once, because if you say you don't like something and you've never experienced it as a young person,
how can you?
How can you? So you go there, you experience it like you did probably. You heard the loud music or whatever and you thought, oh, I don't like this.
Well, no.
Or you did like it. You
Well, I
didn't.
remember when I was really young, I didn't like it. Like when I was 14 and that, I didn't like it. But then when I was older, a bit older, 16, 17, I started to enjoy it.
Them, yeah.
Yeah, going out and that, I liked it.
You liked it more. Yeah.
I do think it's a question of I do really think that if you don't know yourself, so you will cause yourself anxiety.
A lot of
and
anxiety.
it will build up
Yeah.
inside you, because you'll get yourself into situations that you're not really happy about or comfortable with.
Exactly. And then you'll feel anxious. I mean, it could be as simple as like when you get up in the morning. Like, I know that if I want to feel calm before going to work, I have to have enough time in order to prepare. So prepare for me means getting a shower, putting my makeup on, doing my hair, making sure I look nice, then having a nice enough healthy breakfast for me, which is what and just the time to sit down and sort of have enough of that time available. Because when I didn't do that several times, I would end up almost feeling sick to the stomach, and I literally couldn't eat. Sometimes when I would brush my teeth, I would feel like nauseous.
It's the fight or flight, isn't it? You go into fight or flight when you get anxious.
Yeah.
You get all your adrenaline comes going.
And all the stress of thinking, gosh, I've got to make it to that for that time. It was awful. So I'd rather allow more time.
I'd rather prepare
than feel anxious.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's the question you've got to ask yourself. Would you rather prepare, or would you rather just feel anxious?
And I tend to prepare for the worst.
You do, yeah. You'll have everything in your
handbag.
I
have it. So I'll see if it's going to rain. I'll take an umbrella. I'll look so that I make sure that
you take a snack with you just in case. Something that you think is healthy.
Yeah, I take my makeup with me in case I have to do a touch
up. Yeah.
I do all these things so that I don't find myself in a situation where I feel anxious, because I don't feel as if I look okay for how I feel, because there's no one judging you.
No
it's
one
just how
judging.
you personally feel about yourself. I suppose it's
what you've got used to.
Yeah,
really.
what you've got used to, and what you think you look your best as, I suppose.
Yeah. So you prepare for that. I do too.
Yeah,
Normally,
both do.
yeah. and that makes me feel more comfortable, so I don't experience that anxiety every morning just to get out of the house, because I don't want to start my day feeling anxious.
No. So what would, if it was 3 ways to get to know yourself better, how do you get to know yourself better?
Well, I think
How did you do it?
I did it once when I didn't leave enough time,
Yeah.
and I used to think, oh no, I can put the alarm on like at 7:30. I can be out by 8. I can be out by 8 and try and get more of a nightlife in. But then I realised, no, those 30 minutes were nowhere near enough for me. So I'd end up feeling literally like sick and nervous and stomach closed, and then what would happen, I wouldn't have my healthy breakfast, which is what I like to eat, the oats and all the yogurt and everything, and then I'd be starving like at 10:30 and grab a chocolate bar or something, and that would make me feel, oh no, I didn't want to eat that, but there's nothing else around. all that extra anxiety. Yeah, so no point. Just get rid of it, and just
Well, I think to get rid of it, you have to know yourself, don't you?
you have to know yourself. Yeah.
And I think you have to accept yourself as well, because I accept the fact that I need all that time. I don't think I'm weird or like unusual or anything.
No, because
Whereas my husband probably thinks.
well, he thinks you're weird because he thinks, why, how does she need so much time?
I said, don't you know me by now?
Yeah. There's always that little
The
song.
other day he said, do you have to get ready before we go out? Can't you just put a coat over I think I was in my gym clothes or something.
And you
I said, don't you know me by now? He started laughing.
Yeah, and that is a good little song to sing in your head. I know myself by now. You have to know yourself.
And accept yourself for who you are. So if you have that requirement that's going to make you feel calm,
go for it. Do it. Prepare.
It's going to release anxiety. Also, I think another thing is always to prepare for your, if you know that you say you want to eat healthily, is to prepare for your meals during the day, to organise where you're going to be eating.
Oh yeah, at least know, okay, I'm going to go there for lunch every day.
Take your lunch.
Or take it with me, because I know I want to eat that certain food, or feel. Usually you don't want to eat, snack foods and fast food every day.
Well, it's not going to make you feel
It's
good.
not going to make.
Obviously, if you have to occasionally, it's fine.
Yeah.
And if you're happy with that, that's fine too. But it's what makes you, what we're talking about here is what makes you comfortable.
Yeah.
What does not, if you find yourself eating whatever fast food and then feeling great afterwards, great, and you're happy with that,
Yeah,
you're not
you're
anxious,
happy, that's fine.
amazing. But if you find that
you're thinking, oh no, I
wish I
shouldn't be
hadn't
eating
done that, and then you start feeling bad. Oh, why did I eat that? I was supposed to be on a healthy eating plan this week. Oh no. And it's going to cause you anxiety. Then, just take a step back and think, and do I know myself? Yes, I know myself. Okay, I'm going to prepare. What am I going to eat? Blah, blah, blah.
And it takes time, doesn't it?
It takes time and
effort.
discipline.
Discipline, yeah, it does.
I think that's the problem. Because people don't realise that it's discipline.
No.
I think it's a bit like in relationships. People don't realise, a lot of them, is that you have to actually work at relationships.
Yeah, I used to hate that.
I used to hate hearing that, but it's
I used
true.
to hate it, yeah. Why do I have to work at it?
Can't it just be natural?
But
you have to work at the fact that you have to make an effort
to know yourself.
To know
That's
yourself.
what you have to work
to know
at.
your partner. To make an effort to listen and to be who you are, and to
be considerate as well.
Be considerate, be kind, be loving, and then also step out of your own shoes. But it's not like I can just be who I am, like if there was no one around me. I mean, we live with other people. We live in society, hopefully, if we're fortunate enough.
Yeah, so you can't just think that the other person really is an extension of you.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big mistake, or that the other person in your life has to be the one to provide joy, provide fun, entertainment, excitement, thrills, the whole lot, because it's not realistic, is it? No. The other person is the other person with all their requirements and all their needs. So if you know yourself, then you're already, up for a great start, because you can say what you like, what you don't like, what you wish for, what you never want to do.
Exactly.
So I think, it's like me the other day. I asked my hubby, I said, do you fancy going out? But already in my head, I knew I wanted to go out. So really, it's a bit of a trick question. I should have just said, I want to go out tonight.
Yes. Will you come with me?
It sounded a bit harsh. So I kind of like around 6 p.m. What should we do tonight? Do you think you'd like to go out for a pizza or something? And then he might suggest another pizzeria that I don't like. So in the end, now I've known myself, so I know that if I go to that other place, I don't like it there because it's loud, it's noisy, and I get bothered by it if it's loud places. I don't like them.
Well, that's another
They make
good
me
thing
feel
to know.
anxious.
If you feel anxious in loud places, or there's a lot of commotion or a lot of people,
I just
don't go there.
I don't go there. I don't want to go there.
And that's a really easy way to immediately relieve anxiety.
Yeah. But I mean, I might tell him I don't want to go there because it's really loud. And he says, no, it's not. Because he can't hear the noise. He can't hear it at all.
No.
It doesn't bother him. But
it's curious, isn't it? How our brains delete certain things.
I mean, in this place that he likes going to, there's a TV on.
Yeah, I don't like that.
With the news.
When you're eating dinner.
When you're supposed to, I hate that place.
It's supposed to be going out and having fun.
Yeah, sometimes they put the music on, but then they put the news on. Da da da. I mean, it's scary. I find it scary, so I hate it. No. I hate it, and it interrupts the couple feeling.
It's so romantic.
It's horrible. So I say, in the end, but now I know myself because I've been to that place various times to try and just be, make him happy. But if I'm not making myself happy, then he always says, "What's wrong? You're not enjoying yourself," and then in the end, he's not happy.
Exactly.
But if we go to somewhere that makes me happy, then I provide enough sort of joy. Then he's joyful as well. Because truth is, he doesn't really care about that. He's not even that bothered about the chairs.
That's funny.
Yeah, or the noise the chairs make. He doesn't notice these things.
No, because he's not as tuned in to sounds and feelings and things.
No, he's not. Like if the waiters are really stressed, he won't notice it, but I will.
Yeah.
And it makes me feel anxious.
Yeah.
So if I go to another place where I can feel like
good energy.
Yeah, nobody's shouting. I mean, it should be just.
I mean, it sounds horrific. What the hell?
But
do not go to that.
No, unfortunately, there are places where the staff don't get along.
Yeah, or there's places where people like all this loudness, and loads of people like it. They're like shouting, and they don't mind. It doesn't bother them. Or maybe people don't really talk that much. I suppose we always like talking a lot when we go out.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
People just drink and they keep quiet and they just look around and kind of people watch.
What if you're just a couple? If it's a couple's night,
they just eat, don't they? They don't care if it's loud.
Well, yeah.
Some people actually doesn't bother them. It's obviously
it doesn't matter. Yeah.
What I think is that everyone's different. So if you know yourself,
and it does bother you. I mean, I said no to it.
Yeah.
Now I've said no many times.
Yeah.
Every now and then I compromise. Like for that sushi place he likes to go to, it's noisy in there.
Yeah.
It's noisy. I'm not crazy about it. And then they've got that little screen that you have to click on and order your food. So instead of him looking at me, he's like looking at this little screen all the time and adding more little portions. So in the end, I let him add everything. And then I say, have you finished now? Yeah. And then he goes on and looks at more courses. I mean, I don't like that place really. But I will go for him.
Yeah,
it's like
it's like a compromise.
Well, yeah, I say, all right, we'll go to the sushi place, and I just know what to expect, so it doesn't make me feel anxious anymore.
You know, you're not going to talk in that restaurant.
I try not to talk.
It's just eating.
It's just scoffing. So I know that he's just going to get all his raw fish and everything he wants to eat, and he's delighted.
Yeah.
So I just, like last time, I sort of just zoned out a bit and just let him be on this little thing. That thing.
It's exciting, isn't it? If you like.
It's really exciting. The presentation of the food is delightful. I must say, it comes with all those flowers and the.
Yeah, but I think that does ruin it, the screen a bit.
the screen ruins it a bit for me, but for other people they love it. So who's to know?
Yeah.
I know I don't like it. That's why, I mean, this podcast is about what makes you anxious. So the first time when I went, I expected a different experience. I didn't expect it to be loud and there to be a screen there.
Yeah.
I didn't think it. I just thought it'd be like a normal restaurant where he would order a plate and then just finish with. But this, it's like never ending, isn't it?
Well, yeah, because it's one of those where you can have as much as you want.
That's it, yeah.
That's the problem.
That's the problem.
For us.
Yeah, you're right.
I think it encourages to eat more as well.
It certainly does. Anyway, aside from that, it's just getting to know yourself. So in a relationship, you know, preparing for, like, to avoid anxiety, like for an appointment.
Yeah.
Then getting to know yourself, like, as far as relationship with whoever you've got the relationship with, even with, you know, with friends at times. It's
Always with friends.
always with friends. It's the same thing. If they say, we're doing this, we're going out partying, we're doing that, you really don't like it.
Yeah, don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it, because
No,
it's going to
because
make you
it's
feel
gonna
anxious.
make you feel anxious and miserable, and you're probably going to spend money that you didn't want to spend.
And that'll make you feel more anxious.
There's a whole series of consequences on
When
there's
you
a
don't-
there's also
yeah.
reasons behind reasons why it might give you anxiety. For instance, like going out a lot could give you anxiety that you don't
Financial stress.
yeah, you don't realize where it's coming from. But it could also be you don't like the loud music. But it could also be that the reward you're getting for it, the benefits you're getting for it
From it, yeah.
aren't enough to like, because you're thinking
The carrot's not worth it,
no,
sort of thing,
exactly,
yeah.
I'm spending a lot of money, I don't like it,
I'm not really
not
enjoying
enjoying it, you know, what am I doing? And that creates anxiety. Whereas if you go out and you have great fun and it's amazing, and then you might spend a little bit more,
cares?
but
You've
you
had
think,
fun.
oh my god, I had an amazing
Yeah.
evening, it was wonderful, I loved it. And so you're going to feel a lot calmer about it, I think.
Yeah. So it's all about knowing when to say yes, and also knowing when to say no, because there are times when you have to say yes to your own needs. You have to know when you need to take a break.
Yeah.
You have to know when you really need a holiday, a vacation. And then you also have to know when to say no to certain things,
And
because
I think
you
have
know
to know
yourself.
how to say I need a break. Like
Yeah.
how to verbalize it.
Yeah.
Not just like stuff all the feelings down and think,
No.
it's just me. I'm just like that. I'm useless. I'm
Yeah, I'm
idiot. I'm
useless.
stupid.
I can't do
All
anything.
the other
Why am I always so
expletives
stressed?
that people probably call themselves. No, it's not. It's about you recognizing if you-
Normality.
yeah, if
This
you
is
want to
normal.
call them flaws or whatever, if we want to call it a flaw that we have to feel as if we have to have 2 hours to get ready or whatever. But it's like, because we want to have breakfast and everything. But if it's like that though, but if you accept it, then you're going to be calm about it.
You will be
And you'll
calm.
be living a life in which you feel comfortable. And I'm sorry, but I don't agree with all this stuff that you have to always be like pushing yourself and always doing more and more and more. It's just too much sometimes.
It's too much. And I think if we learn to verbalize it, like what you said, we learn to verbalize our needs more. Oh, I think the world would be a much better place. Because, for example, say you've got a doctor's appointment. I've got to go in regularly to the hospital for regular checkups. So now I know I would never go alone to these things. Never.
Never.
I know. I mean, I've had frights
You
there
feel
before.
vulnerable.
I feel vulnerable. I would never, ever go there. The other day, after years of going, you know, like every month I have to go, my husband said, isn't it time by now that you just go there by yourself? I mean, you know how to drive, don't you? Well, why can't you just go to these meetings by yourself, to these appointments? Honestly, I felt so vulnerable. But then afterwards, at first I felt a bit like crying because I thought, gosh, how could he even say that to me? But then I thought, obviously he doesn't, because he would probably just go by himself.
He would, yeah, because he doesn't
He
bother
doesn't feel
him.
that way. It doesn't make him feel anxious. So I said, no, I'm never, if I can, I mean, I'd go if there
was
really,
life and death.
life and death, and there really is nobody else. But if you don't come, I'll go with Violetta. If Violetta can't come, I'll take someone else. I would really literally never want to go alone, because it would make me feel anxious and miserable waiting there, talking to the doctors. I would hate it. So I know myself now, and I've managed to say no to that.
Yes, and put your foot down.
But otherwise, you could think, yeah, of course I could do this by myself. I can drive. Yeah. I don't have to make him have a morning off his job just to take me, out of work, even though he works for himself and, we've got a business and everything, but it still means time off.
Yeah.
I could easily think like that and say, why am I so silly? Why can't I do this? Be stronger. I actually had this discussion with myself a while ago, thinking, come on, toughen up. Why
do we have to toughen up
That's
all the
what
time?
I thought. No, I don't want to toughen up.
I will toughen up if I have to.
If there
really isn't anyone.
For important
Today
things.
I was listening to Louis Howe's podcast, The School of Greatness, and he was interviewing Ken Honda, who was saying that you have financial assets that are visible but also invisible assets. And your invisible assets, he terms it as your friends, your family, people that you can rely on.
Oh,
people
that's
it's
lovely.
lovely. People that if you call in the middle of the night, they'll come to you. If you need a home or a bed, they'll put you up.
Goodness,
and if you have invisible assets, because you've got me, you've got your hubby, you've got other people that you can rely on, and if you need them, they will go with you. So why do we always have to do everything on our own? What is this culture, this society that's always pushing you to always push yourself until you push yourself too much one day
then you can't handle it. You end up burning
out. And what they used to call a nervous breakdown years and years ago, which used to happen to so many people, men and women.
Absolutely.
It's
just knowing yourself, really, but you have to be a little bit courageous,
a bit savvy.
Because at first when you said it made me feel
stand up for yourself.
It made me feel vulnerable, and I thought, I guess he's right. I've been going for how many years now? 10 years, 8 years now. Come on, get over it. You've had frights there, but come on. It's like you should be able to.
Well, I always used to take you, but then I had my.
Then you had your retinal detachment,
so I can't drive as much now.
No.
So I have to be a bit careful. So it's his turn.
It's his turn. Yeah, I know. That's what I told him. But he's saying, "Come on, you can do this."
He always has a laugh and tries to get me to go.
Yeah, try and be strong, sort of thing. But no. I'll be strong for other things when I really have to be strong.
Yes, that's it. Then I think that's when
you've got more
then
resources.
You've got resources and strength to be strong, like what you say, when you really do need it.
When there's really important things,
a crunch.
And you say, okay, now I will be brave and I will be strong and courageous. But when it's just things that are going to give you that anxiety, that's
those niggles.
The niggles that we're talking about today, they can be, you can just, you can ask for people to come with you. Ask for help in this situation. Ask.
Definitely.
And you might make someone really happy.
Well, people
because they're lonely as well.
And then if they need you, they can ask you to do the same for them. So it's like one of these lovely invisible assets that you've got, that you can rely on people. And at the end of the day, that's the kind of thing that really counts.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, it's so true. Yeah. I mean, I remember my mother-in-law, she used to tell me stories about the village here in Italy, where all the women, they would be together all day. I mean, it's shocking nowadays, isn't it? Because I suppose people work.
They work a lot, don't they? And they used to work a lot then.
No, she would break her back, honestly, because they would go she would go down to the fountain, to the fountain in the centre of the village, and they would all wash the clothes together. They would do this every day because they'd have to wash nappies and everything, because they would have these small kids. And then after that, then they would go and get the milk.
Where did the kids go?
I think the kids would just follow them.
They're just tiny. What about when they were babies, take them in the prams and things?
They would take them on their backs. They would put them in little things and have them. I've seen a photo of her. Yeah, she would have him just stuck on her back. Yeah. And then, that's it. Just put them, and then they would go home. Yeah, no, I've actually seen a photo where she had some grapes on her head in a little wooden basket, and then the baby on the back, one of the children on her back, and just walking back home with other women
And other little babies, I suppose,
Yeah,
little
so-
toddlers.
little toddlers, yeah, and and little goats as well following. So it was a whole thing what I mean is it was all together. It was all done together.
Yeah.
And then they were never alone, basically, because then they would go, the men would come back for lunch, they would eat the lunch, and then the women would all meet again for the coffee.
And they would talk about their problems and things, wouldn't they?
Well, I do remember saying that to her once. I remember saying, gosh, it must have been lovely because you would talk about and extend. She goes, oh, it's not like what you imagine. And I said, well, I thought you really loved it. She goes, there was a lot of gossip as well.
Oh dear.
So I had like thought it was this beautiful thing with these women, like I would like it, but really. But I said to her, but wasn't it like,
Nice things to talk about.
if one of you had issues with your husband or something, wouldn't you just like, oh no, you wouldn't say things like that, she said.
Oh dear.
I said, why not? She goes, because then the other women would talk about you. Yeah, so I mean, it wasn't that great.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
It's a bit idolised then, this whole thing. Let's face it.
I think I mean, she's no longer alive, but if she was, when she was, she would
Rest
tell me
in
it wasn't, rest in peace. She would say it wasn't that, it's not like I imagined it, because I remember kind of being envious of it. I thought it sounds amazing.
Well, yeah. Did you think it sounded a bit like when we used to go to the countryside, into the Sierra in Spain in the summer, and everyone was just when we were kids?
Yeah,
And
and
we
they
would
were
all
all
just
together.
chat and talk.
Yeah, I thought it was more like that, to tell you the truth, but I didn't realise it.
Like, Mum wasn't really that gossipy, was she? She would never
No.
gossip about anyone, really.
No, we haven't grown up with that, so
No.
we don't really understand that much,
No.
because what's the point? What is this
She
gossip?
wouldn't say horrible things about people. She'd just say nice things, if anything.
If something sad happened, then
Yeah.
it would be a sad event, and
Yeah.
oh no, poor
Yeah,
thing.
and if it was a happy event.
It was wonderful.
And if it was like fortunate because someone had got more money or something, it was always, oh, look how wonderful for them. I'm so happy for you.
yeah, that is true.
Yeah, it wasn't a horrible.
Maybe that's why when
gossip.
she said it was
It was-
gossip,
it
I
was a
don't.
bit shocked.
I didn't really understand it. I thought, for what purpose? To help each other?
Yeah.
So what purpose is this gossip? Yeah, I suppose I was quite shocked.
Because it's just to help each other.
I thought it was to help each other, but she said, oh no.
It wasn't. It was just like to say, oh,
But I said, didn't you really like each other? I mean, why would you hang out anyway?
they had to.
Because they had to, yeah. It was like, come on, we're all going to wash.
Must have been stressful as well for them.
I bet you it was, actually, yeah. Sort of like thinking the past was so
But
great.
maybe they didn't have a choice.
Well, you can't just go off on your own and wash and be quiet, yeah. But
It was kind of forced upon them then.
well, yeah. I don't know. Because we're talking about,
A long time
years
ago,
ago, yeah. So
It must have been in the 50s.
in the 50s, it must have been, yeah.
Anyway.
Like 58, 1950. I mean,
All I know is that if you know
Yeah.
yourself, it's a lot easier.
if you know yourself, you know what you want, you know what you don't want. And yeah, I think it was easier in the past and it's easier now.
Yeah, it's easier to
Because
release
even in the
anxiety.
past,
Well, I think maybe it's easier now than in the past because we have more like
you can verbalize it more and just
you can talk more.
there's
about
more
these
more
things,
discussion
openness
about mental health. You can
Yes.
say, oh, I'm not happy at home or something with my relationship with my husband and with my wife, whatever, and my partner. And then everyone else can just say, oh yeah, that happened to me too. It's more open nowadays, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I think that does relieve anxiety.
it does. Yeah, just talking about it.
Talking about it.
Yeah. So this was 3 ways
Yeah.
to get to know yourself better. So just to recap, I think one is if you know that something's going to make you anxious, sort of like have a little bit of a preparation for it. Prepare, yeah. And then with as far as relationships go, any kind of relationship it is, I think if you know where you stand and what makes you feel good and calm, then you're on the route to success.
Yeah, if you know what your values are, what you value.
Yes, yeah, what you value. Yes, exactly. They're really important. Your values, what you
What you want.
What
in
you
life,
want,
What you want
yeah.
out of your life.
Yeah.
More or less. It doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be I want this, that and the other. But more or less if your partner aligns with what you want, like with your financial values, your moral values.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, things like that. Obviously, yes. If you're, that can get you really stressed out. If one of you wants to save and the other one's, no, let's go partying.
Let's go spend.
Yeah, let's go spend. Oh, that can be really stressful.
Yeah. If one of you doesn't mind having lots of debt and the other one is really hates having debt.
Yeah, that's true.
It's all these things that when you know yourself, you can
verbalize it.
You can verbalize it, and then you can come to an agreement with the person that you live with.
Yeah.
And also with yourself, because sometimes you might not realize that it gets you stressed when you spend too much. And then you might say, hey, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that was actually causing me anxiety because I've overspent this month.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah.
It might not kick in. You might not be consciously
You're not aware of
it.
It's this niggly
it's like a niggly feeling, thinking something's not right, but you might not actually put your finger on it.
No, you're so right. Yeah, I've had that kind of anxiety before when I never really knew what it was.
No. Yeah. I mean, financial stress is really
financial stress is awful. Yeah. Unfortunately, a lot of people are experiencing it now.
And I think the really thing is to take the bull by the horns and take action. So do everything possible to reduce that stress. Ask for help. Go to the banks or whatever. Just try and do your best to reduce that stress on you, because it's terrible. It gets to you.
It does get to you, yeah.
And ask for help. Ask your family, your friends, anyone you can for help too.
Your invisible assets.
Yeah, they will help you.
They will. They will, and they'll probably be happy to help.
Yeah.
They will be.
And you know that you would do the same if it was for them. So
you're opening up, showing that kind of vulnerability,
just trust in other people.
Whenever we've had friends, that were opened up, in the end, that's the only way you really got to know them.
Exactly.
Because if it's always just, oh yeah, it's great, and you're
fine, thank you.
Oh, that's awful, isn't it? Really?
We hate that.
Yeah. That kind of small talk. So yes. So I think we've said 2. What's the other one?
Isn't that 3 as well?
Is that 3 now?
I think so.
Yeah. I think more or less.
I think you can give us a third way.
Yeah. What's another one that you think that would help you, like really make your life more comfortable? If you can learn to acknowledge it.
I think discipline. If you're disciplined, you'll feel less anxious.
If you're disciplined, that's just come off the top of your head.
Well, because I think if you're disciplined and you organise and plan for things, you won't get yourself into these anxious situations. So if you know, for instance, if you're disciplined...
Because you know yourself.
You know yourself. So you're disciplined about knowing yourself, and you know that if you go and buy that thing that's too expensive, or you suddenly go online and spend a whole load of money, you're not going to be happy about it. It's going to make you feel anxious. You drink too much, you eat too much. There's all these things that
could be going
on. Only you will know, because you'll know it within yourself how it makes you feel, and you just have to sit with yourself for a minute and think, how does that make me feel? Yes, it makes me. It's just about knowing yourself. But the thing is that there's not that much education around mental health. They don't really teach you that much. When you're growing up, to sit with yourself and listen to how you're feeling and all of this. I think it's always on the back burner. It's a bit like financial education. They don't teach you that much about it. So it's something that I think you have to discover as you get older and as you grow and learn in life.
Yeah, you learn from the feedback. You learn from your mistakes.
And you can help yourself a lot, though. It's very easy to help yourself and to relieve a lot of anxiety.
Absolutely.
We do it, don't we?
We do.
We do listen to ourselves.
We do,
accept all our little quirks and our vulnerabilities.
And just say, oh, well, some people might call that weak.
Yeah.
But I call it being courageous and speaking up, and admitting
Yeah.
to whatever some certain people might call weaknesses or whatever.
I would call them weak.
Well, yeah. But
There'd probably be no doubt about that.
exactly.
They'd certainly call them
Weaknesses, yeah. So
who cares?
Who cares? Yeah, it's because it's your life, isn't it?
It
Really,
is.
and it's to be lived as calmly as possible.
I think as calmly and as harmoniously and always with a smile and laughing and lots of laughter and love. And that's what life's all about, really.
It really is. Yeah, it really is.
It is, isn't
It
it?
is.
Because
Yeah,
it's what it's all about. Family, friends, connections, love.
invisible assets.
Yeah. Anyway,
Absolutely.
if you enjoy this episode and you're enjoying listening to Get Real with the English Sisters,
Yeah, follow us,
Follow us.
and share and become part of our community. Join our family because we are real sisters, but
yeah,
we want more.
sisters.
Yeah, with the Zoogies, but we want more. We would love to have more,
yeah,
a larger
I think
connection.
we do, don't we?
We do.
Because it's lovely to feel part of
Have that.
something.
Yeah, yeah. It is lovely. It's lovely when you write to us, and we love it.
We do.
We really, really do. So
Have
Connect.
have a lovely week. This podcast is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, and also on YouTube too. Thanks for
Thanks for
watching
watching.
and listening.
lots of love.
Bye-bye.
Bye.